Hi everyone, Michael from Yenar here. I'm dying to do a video on the Jordan Peterson and Carol Newman Channel 4 interview. That was just one of the best things I've ever seen, and that's how I feel. Like I watched a really good movie. I feel like there was a beginning, and then it tempted me in, and then there was a really interesting middle, and then a climax near the end, and then the hero won, and then it had like a beautiful ending as well. And I've been trying to put my finger on exactly why I like it and why it's blown up so much, and I think that's really what it is. It has a hero, and it has, I'm not going to say a villain, but it has a protagonist. And the thing is with a hero is the hero is a good hero when they don't get anything out of it. Like Mad Max always walks away without just his pride, with less than he started with, but the pride, or Harry Potter never got rich out of the whole thing, or James Bond just goes back to being a single alcoholic or whatever he is, but he saved the whole world. He didn't get a bonus or anything like that. And Jordan Peterson went there to sell his book. You do that thing where here's my book, and like I say in my book, and you read a sentence. And I've always hated that, and that's what he was there to do. And he completely gave up on trying to convince everyone that his book was the best book. And I suppose on some level he must have been disappointed that he didn't get to go through all the bullet points on how to sell his book. But he did so much better by ignoring it, and I admire him for all the reasons that everyone else admires him, but for giving up on his own personal motive of self promotion just so he could fight the good fight. And I realized he was heroic, and I heard him talk with Stefan Molyneux about the hero archetype before, and he fulfilled it himself. But I've also heard him say, "Don't do what's expedient, do what's meaningful." And the expedient thing to do would have been to get on with the interviewer so he could plug his book as many times. But he didn't do what was expedient. He did do what was meaningful. So he was taking his own medicine. And that just makes me like him even more. And the other thing, like it started off and they were both there and they seemed, oh, update. And they seemed to like each other and get on. And she said something about men need to grow up. And he said, yes, they do. And then she said, aren't you worried about how many men there are on YouTube? You've got lots of male followers. Isn't that a problem? And that was that bit in the movie where you're like, she's the baddie. But it's too soon to call her. I don't want to tell everyone in the room that I think she's the villain, but you can tell that she is. She just showed her hand a little bit. And then she came out with that bit about what gives you the right to say that women aren't happy? And he just gave it the old, I'm a clinical psychologist, and like he was going to stand his ground, and it was a battle from that point. And she should have given up then. She should have put the white flag up right then. But she went on, and it was you've seen it. It was a debacle. She wasn't even close. But the climax was that bit where she said, "What gives you the right to offend people?" And he said, "So I can think, so I can have some thoughts in my head and get them out the front of my face through my face hole to another person, dialogue, and then find out what I actually think, find out what I actually believe. And to do that, I have to risk offending." And that was the knockout. That was like that bit in Rocky where, and the Russian is cut, and it's a bad cut in Rocky 4. And you realize that, geez, he's going to win here. And you know that the hero is going to be victorious at the end. And this isn't going to be one of those movies when the hero dies, which is always terrible. And it had a good ending. Like he was chivalrous and he was gallant and he had a laugh. And in that bit where he said "gotcha," because that's what she was trying to do, the gotcha moment. Anyway, I'm through gushing now. What I really wanted to talk about was the dissection. I wanted to dissect the dissections because there's been a trillion YouTube videos go out talking from the left and the right about how well JBP did. But I really noticed that in 2018, the resistance to the insane left is getting so organized and so fluent. And I can remember 2015 where like you were kind of half scared to click on a YouTube video and watch it because it was by this guy called Milo Yiannopoulos or Mike Cernovich, and you didn't know who they were, and you didn't want to get in the deep end because the deep end was pretty rough and it was pretty turbulent. You didn't know who was who in the school. But these days, people are just rolling off the defenses to this. Like you watch videos about cognitive dissonance, and someone else is saying straw man argument, and someone else is saying she's just after victim status. And then when Channel 4 did the whole we have to have security come in, and really he's the bad guy and she's the victim. Like no one believed that for a second. Like everyone just saw that one through the keeper so easily, and no one. Like, we're picking their punches, and we can see them coming, and the outrage has gone away, and that's what's so good about this. It's things, because at the end of the day, when humans get scared and panicky, bad things happen on all sides. But the fear's going out of it, and the outrage is going out of it, and people are learning to cope and to learn to deal with the scary thing, with the fear. And this comes back to JVP again. I remember him saying that when he deals with his clients and they say they're scared, and he says, you will always be scared. Fear never goes away, but you can learn to deal with it. And so next time the scary thing happens, you don't have to hyperventilate. It will always scare you, but you have coping mechanisms. And seriously, that's what he's given the world, coping mechanisms and words and an example to lead by. And I just really hope he finds out that he's practicing what he preaches, and that everyone, myself included, really admire him for that. So, I mean, that's really all I've got to say. It was a fantastic video. I mean, if you haven't watched it, just take the day off work tomorrow and definitely watch it. Do whatever you can to watch it. If you have watch it again. And if you've watched it again and again, then notice that how everyone that wants to comment on this is now far more at ease, and their vocabulary contains the words that gives them the necessary defense, and they're learning the tools, and you really feel that we're starting to push back against the insanity. Anyway, guys, Michael from Yena. I'll see you later.